Alright, let's talk about some of these last sets of nodes. These are more utility nodes. You're going to use these to query information about your variants sets, the prims that are using them, and you're going to use the outputs of these nodes to kind of collect all that data and use it to build more data-driven graph systems, say for configurators. In another video, I'll kind of walk through how to build one of those with these nodes, but let's just go through what these nodes do one by one. So the first thing I'm going to do is we're going to do the same thing. We're going to hit the tab key here. I'm going to do keyboard input. So whenever I hit the N key, it's going to just, we're going to use this screen space text node. So it's going to print out a bunch of information on the screen. I want it to be, let's say, off to the side and kind of biggish. So let's go through these nodes. We have get variant names, get variant selection, get variant set names, and has variant set. So the first thing I have to do, I have to convert all these outputs to strings, which is what this node needs. So now this variant, get variant names. So same thing, we're going to go pick our car paint metallic as our working asset. So I pick the prim, and then I pick the variant set I want information about paint color, and it's going to give me the output of all of the members of this variant set. So when I hit the N key, so I have light blue, light gray, and red, which is totally in this list. If my content team updated this car with 7 more variants, this list would suddenly start outputting all the other variants. So I don't have to do anything additional to get more information about that. It's just built into this node, and it responds and updates as things go. You'll notice in the output there's these brackets and quotes and commas. That's just kind of a function of converting it to a string so we can draw it on the screen. In the actual use of these nodes, you wouldn't really have to worry about remembering all those brackets and commas. It's all kind of handled inside the nodes as just general data. So get variant selection, we're going to pick, same thing, car paint metallic, 2, select that one, and we're going to pick the variant set color. So this is going to output what the current selection is. So in this case it's red. So I still have my other nodes from before wired up, so I'm going to set this to blue. So now when I hit the N key, it's going to tell me this variant set on this node is now light blue. So if I switch it to gray and then I hit the N key again, it's going to tell me it's light gray. So you can use this to kind of confirm that the variant selection on the prim and variant set you're curious about is what you think it should be, or you can use it to compare to other things. So let's say I want to hit a button where if the paint color is red, I want something to happen, and if it's not red, I want other things to happen, right? So you would use the output of this and compare it to some other situation so that if it's red, do X, otherwise do Y. The next node we have here is variant set names, and this is actually a lot like get variant names, but it works on sets. So we're going to do our good old friend, car paint metallic 02. And you'll notice I don't have anything really to do after this because it's reading the variant sets, and those are pretty fixed. So all I have to do is tell the prim I want, and it's going to tell me every variant set on this prim, which is paint color and stripe underscore 1 color. You would use this in situations where you want to, say, kind of dynamically build behavior based off of the variant sets that are available. So often you will pass the output of the variant sets into the get variant names. So then you'll have a combination of data. Is I know the variant sets and I know the items of each of those sets, and then I can go do things with those. And then the last one is a little trickier because it's not really useful if you just use it in the property panel here. It's really going to be useful when you pass information into it through these inputs. So we're going to do the same thing. we're going to do car paint metallic 02. And this is just a has variant set. It's a validator. So it's just going to report back true or false if this prim has a variant set on this variant set name. Sorry, this prim has a variant set. That's what I'm trying to say. So you see it has these as a dropdown that's auto-populated. So of course this list is only available because they exist on the thing. So if I just pick from this list and I print true, it's going to come back true every time, because of course it is. It's building this list already for you based on what it already knows is in here and valid. So that's not super useful. So the way you really are going to use this is this input for the variant set name. Instead of the dropdown, we're going to be passing values into it. So just for now, I'm going to right click and promote this to a constant. So then I can type in what I want. So instead of stripe 1 color, let's say I'm going to just call it stripe color. So now, instead of typing it in here, I type it in somewhere here and pass it in. So now when I hit the end key, it's coming out false. So all this node is doing is it's going, this prim, does it have the variant set name that you're asking me about? It has paint underscore color and stripe underscore 1 underscore color, but it doesn't have stripe underscore color. So no, it's going to come back false. So this is going to be for validation. You're going to use this kind of in combination with these just to make sure that maybe your data is coming in right and that you're asking it to do things with data that actually exists on your nodes, on your prims. Because if it doesn't exist, it's just going to fail. And sometimes you want to know that it's failing so you can do something else, like print warning screens. Like I could print something like does not exist instead of false or whatever. So those are those nodes. And then the next video, we'll just talk about how to use some of these to build something a little more dynamic and data driven.